complete approach to therapy, informed my work with individuals. With interpersonal therapy, on the other hand, I assume that patients struggle because they are unable to develop, nurture, and maintain close relationships with others. I located this primarily in my work with therapy groups, where I focused on the exchanges, impulses, and emotions that arose from the members' responses to one another. I feel now that these two sets of concerns may not be so distinct after all. One of the great drivers of existential anxiety is our condition of being alone in the universe, such that we can never completely share our experience with another. This ultimate isolation can be terrifying, and certainly plays a role in the theology of most religions, which offer solace by assuring us we are part of a greater whole. For many of us, whether we are religious or not, deep connection with other people is the best salve for that isolation and the anxieties that come with it. In this sense, when I say that most people come to therapy looking for help with interpersonal problems, this feels quite related to some major existential concerns. Likewise, the stories that make up this book are all about working one-on-one with individual patients. The approach I employ is explicitly interpersonal, mining the here and now of the emotional space between the two of us, and using what we learn from this to help the patient get better at relating with others. So, again, the existential and the interpersonal are not so separate. This need for connection to ease the existential concerns has certainly been true for me, brought into sharp focus after my wife of 65 years, Marilyn, died in 2019. COVID appeared just months later, and I spent much of the following 3 years, the time frame of this book, in heavy isolation. Add to that the fact that I had entered serious old man territory. Nearly all of my friends and colleagues had passed away, or seemed to be doing so as quickly as possible. Living to a ripe old age, while maybe better than the alternative, has its drawbacks. Existential issues have been much on my mind as I've aged. One major feature of aging has been the decline of my memory. Because examining its deterioration is a major feature of this book, I won't reveal much in this introduction, other than to touch on two critical aspects. First, 6 years ago I determined that I could no longer remember all the important details of my patients' lives and the therapy work we had done together. I simply could not promise to be the effective therapist I'd been for so long. Rather than take down my shingle immediately, I chose to offer single consultations to those in need. The most compelling of these consultations and the lessons gleaned from them are the core of the chapters that follow. Second, while the stories here are told in my, Irvin Yalom's voice, the writing is truly a collaboration between myself and my youngest son, Benjamin. We came upon this interesting arrangement out of necessity, as I found myself unable to hold the many encounters described here and the related therapeutic threads in my mind at the same time. Fortunately, Ben is an excellent writer who has edited my work for many years. The timing could not have been better. After 25 years working in the theater and, he says, avoiding being in my professional shadow, this prodigal son decided to join the family business. He was in the middle of his PhD studies in marriage and family therapy when my aspirations for this book slammed up against the reality of my crumbling mind. What has resulted is a rich combination of my experiences and his observations and insightful questions. What luck! It has been a delight to collaborate, to be challenged, to clarify and rethink some of my assumptions, and to have him as one of my last students through our work on these pages. Terminology and a critical caveat. Lastly, a few notes of guidance. Two terms used frequently throughout the book are worth clarifying. First, I speak often of intimacy. I am not using this term to describe anything sexual or physical, even as that seems to be a common usage in our culture today. Rather, I am discussing